There we go. Okay, this is our second vlog. So this week we're going to talk about injuries and being sore and the difference between the two. I'm going to let Emery talk about that. He lifts weights a lot, so he's very familiar with the difference of soreness from working out and being a past fighter dealing with injuries. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So first I want to touch on, these types of injuries. And I say often I'll come in, we'll be doing some part of the exercise. Todd does this too, where we'll join you guys, maybe do some reps of some particular set that we assigned, And it's important for you guys to know that we don't come in every day just like feeling great all the time. Often we are quite sore. Maybe we're sore from the workout from the night before. Maybe we're sore because we've been banging on a heavy bag or doing some sparring ourselves. So we come back with the sore elbow, the shoulder that isn't quite working up to par. Maybe we did a flip over our bicycle while we were riding through the mountains or something. But either way, those things do come around. And so these are just parts of our lives. We've kind of been dealing with little injuries like this here and there, where some days we go in and we're like, oh, well, I'm going to have trouble standing up and doing squats today. And that's just part of the fun. It's like there is some part of that. There's little micro tears in those muscles that cause that muscle soreness that comes back the next day. And that is a positive change to our body. That's not always a bad thing. So when that injury goes from being something that pops up that day, lasts for that day, maybe even you can work it out, to something chronic. Let's say, my elbow starts to hurt me one day while I've been doing a lot of skull crushers, or I've been doing a lot of triceps extensions over there on the rings. That hurting for a day versus I wake up 3 days later and still every time I go to straighten my arm, I'm getting some pain in that elbow.
Right.
That's become a chronic issue then.
Yes.
Okay, and that's an injury where we need to talk about that. You need to come in, you need to let us know immediately. That's something that, hey, this has been popping up again and again, guys. Every time I go to step up on the boards for maybe an alternating lunge or something, my knees hurt me, my foot's killing me, That is a time, anytime you got pain more than a 2 or 3 out of the 10 threshold, that's not muscle soreness anymore. Then we're talking about an injury that we probably need to at least be aware of, if not have a good long conversation about it, so we can ask you some more pertinent questions, like how long has that pain been happening?
Right. So we get that quite often, and since the two of us have been in the industry for a while, we're used to talking to people, and we've got an idea of what you've been doing and what type of soreness you would be experiencing, and an idea of how much it should hurt. Somebody who's been exercising their whole life might be a little sore. Somebody who's been here for 30 to 90 days, they're probably going to be really sore.
Indeed. And
we can see the difference between a developing injury like probably some tendonitis or some damage in a knee, something like that, maybe a torn meniscus. Because we've been around it for so long, even though we're not an MD and having a degree, we know the signs of it. So the difference being that we can say, I realize that you feel like you're going to die, but you're not going to. And the difference between, that knee still should be bothering you after 7 days, you might want to get it looked at. So talk to us first, because we want you to be able to keep working out. We don't want injuries or soreness to develop into something that's going to take you away either. So give us a shot. You'll save a few dollars at least, at best. We're going to give you an idea of what to go in and talk to your physician about. What do you think?
Right on.
So talk to us. We've got plenty of years of injuries and soreness behind us, and we can really help you with it. Even if it's just, certain stretches.
Absolutely.
There are some days we'll just kill glutes and legs. And, you're walking and you can't quite stand up. So we've got stretches and things that will help you with that. So
maybe let's talk just briefly, some spots that you don't want to push through. Okay,
Yes.
Some spots that we need to know immediately that day right when it happens. Your back.
Yes.
Your back, your knees,
Mm-hmm.
your shoulders. Those are complicated joints,
Yeah.
and obviously your back. I mean, your spinal cord's a big deal. Everything involved down that line is a
Yeah.
big deal. If something is hurting there, we got to fix it right away.
Yes.
Okay, that's not something that you can push through even that day. We need to figure out what's going on there. What's happening with your movement pattern that we can change. Again, that's
Yeah.
a change we can make on site in real time. That suddenly you're not improperly using that muscle group
Right.
or that spot. So very important. Be mindful of your body. Protect your body, stretch,
Yes.
make sure you are resting. Okay, if you have a really rough day and you come in super sore, rest. That's what it's about. You gotta let your body heal up. There's a big difference between us being sore because we did a lot of squats the day before or did a lot of hill runs,
Yep.
and you hurting in your knee or your foot or your back.
Yeah.
And you can't sit in your chair comfortably.
Right.
There's a big difference there. So definitely bring those to us. I hope that's the main gist of our story here.
I agree.
Come and talk to us, and we'll get that stuff figured out. At
Yep.
least point in the right direction.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.